Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump used his opening remarks at a press briefing to highlight what he called strong economic gains under his leadership. Trump pointed to falling inflation, arguing it was a problem he inherited from former President Joe Biden and successfully brought under control. However, he appeared to concede that his economic message is not fully connecting with the public. The president said he is not receiving enough credit for easing inflationary pressures. Professor Iyalla Peterside is a global policy analyst. He joins me now from Philadelphia to share his perspective on the Trump's bid to take over Greenland, his tariff threats, and how this seems to be dominating the ongoing economic summit in Davos. Thank you for being with us tonight. Is Trump not doing too much with his constant threats of tariffs on European allies who don't seem to back his ambition of taking over Greenland? And we see now that his ambition seems to have overshadowed other important discourse in Davos. How would you describe him, his intentions, really?
Trump is an enigma. He's an asymmetric politician. He's always had an interest in Greenland, even in his first term in office. The surprise to many is how aggressive he's following this Greenland issue. America has so many military bases in Europe and Africa and everywhere else. He could easily get into an agreement to set up a military base in Greenland, but he's not doing that. He wants to own Greenland. And the question is, why does he want to own Greenland? If he says it's security, then a military base would provide that. I think it's much more than that. I think that the rare minerals in Greenland, the rare earth minerals in Greenland that unfortunately the United States has yielded a poor position to China is what is driving this. Europe and America have been allies for a long, long time. This is causing a big upheaval in Europe. I just came through Germany 2 days ago, and everybody's dumbfounded by how aggressive Trump is and how far he wants to go. The polls in America do not support this. Congress doesn't support it, but obviously, if you follow Trump for a bit, you know, when he sets his eyes on something, he tries to get it one way or another. Unfortunately, this runs almost counter to everything America believes in, which is property rights and sovereignty. Europe is our ally, and trying to fracture NATO is of no interest to anybody but Russia and China.
I mean, let's look a little more broadly at this, what is being described as Trump's transactional approach to international relations. And some are citing the Greenland case, and they're saying this risk undermining global cooperation on pressing issues like Ukraine, for instance.
I think Ukraine and Greenland are completely two different things. If Trump cannot negotiate the acquisition of Greenland and decides to take Greenland by force, Europe would have no choice but to defend Greenland because of the treaty, the NATO treaty. And if they do that, then that's a real big problem for everybody. Europe has an ace up its sleeve. America owes a lot of money, a lot of bonds. American bonds are in the hands of Europeans, and they can dump it and crash the American economy so fast, everybody else will spin. So they have some leverage. And because the public is not behind this, everybody is hoping that common sense will prevail and he will not try to invade Greenland. Ukraine is in another atmosphere completely. And I think that Ukraine, he can manage with bluffing Putin and forcing Ukraine to take deals that are not completely to their favor. But Greenland is surprising about how aggressively he's pursuing this. And unfortunately, he's a very egotistical man, and he might get so far into this that he cannot pull back. And I hope that sane voices prevail and get him into a negotiated settlement so that America can have a foothold in Greenland without the use of force.
We reported earlier his comments about not getting adequate acknowledgement. He's marking 1 year in office. He has said he is not receiving enough credit for easing inflationary pressure. Is the world not seeing him as doing more harm than good?
Trump lives in his own world. If you live in America, as I do, you will know that most of what he says about the economy is not true. Inflation is at the same level as it was when Biden was here. The prices of goods are way higher than he acknowledges. Just today, the Dow fell 850 points. The market is jittery because there's no continuity. He is playing with tariffs up and down. Farmers are in trouble. Their goods are not being sold. Crops are getting wasted. He's driving the migration so fast that workers are not available to pick farm products. And our customers are finding new avenues for products that they used to get from America. So I think his view of the economy is not as rosy as reality suggests.
I mean, I guess we get to see what is happening. But are you concerned about the fact that even though Ukraine is coming up, the conversation around them is coming up, this particular issue seems to be overshadowing?
It will obviously play into the hands of Russia, because if Europe and America is distracted, they don't pay enough attention, they don't put enough pressure on Russia, then Russia can get its way with Ukraine. And also, if they don't provide enough support for Ukraine, then their leverage drops, and then their bargaining chips will be much weaker than it is now. Already, I think Ukraine is in a really tough situation because America is not as supportive as when Biden was there. And so I suspect that whatever agreements that are reached now would have been better or worse than the agreement that would have been reached 2 years ago under Biden.
Professor Peterside, thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you. Have a good evening.